Welcome back to the channel. In just a split second, a terrifying roar echoed through the deep forest. The police couple was cornered by a bloodthirsty wild creature. In the moment of death, he only had time to whisper one thing: "I wish I could see my son one last time." A tearful, suspenseful journey of life and death. You can't take your eyes off it. Early morning, the thin sunlight penetrated the fog. The police couple Hang and Sinnhat sat quietly on the porch. Sinnhat choked up. "I miss my child so much. Last night I dreamed that he called Mom." Hang said in a low voice, "I miss him too." The wind blew through the rickety roof after the storm. Sinnhat turned to her. "Okay, don't go to work today. Let's go to the forest to find some trees to repair the kitchen. It's all collapsed." The two of them stood up, walked into the dilapidated kitchen, and checked every damaged spot. The roof leaked. The walls were broken. The floor was rotten. "Sinnhat, we need at least 10 big trees to be enough." They nodded, went back into the house, put on their forest clothes. No one knew that this trip would change everything. Early in the morning, the gentle sunlight penetrated through the canopy of the old forest, creating streaks of light dancing on the ground, covered with rotten leaves and broken branches. Before their eyes were tall, strong trees, each with a cool green canopy spreading out to cover the sky, forming a great natural dome. Hang tightened his grip on the axe. His eyes were sharp and absolutely focused. Behind him, Sinnhat carried tools, gently picked up each small broken branch, neatly arranged them into bundles for easy transport back. They worked tirelessly, knowing that time would not wait. The kitchen at home had been damaged by the storm. There was no way to delay any longer. The sound of the axe chopping into wood echoed throughout the old forest, both the sound of labor and a challenge to fate. Sweat soaked their shirts, sweat ran down their foreheads, but no one stopped. But they did not know that darkness was quietly lurking behind them. From a dense bush, a large tiger silently observed. Its black and yellow fur blended perfectly with the sunlight and tree shadows, making it almost invisible. Its sharp eyes, bright as headlights in the night, followed Hang and Sinnhat's every move. Its toned body was tense, its muscles rolled under its smooth skin, like a perfect hunting machine. The tiger was in no hurry. It understood that this was not the time to rush in blindly. It observed, patiently waiting for an opening. Any step, the smallest sound, could be a sign for it to act. After a while of hard work cutting down trees, Hang and Sinnhat sat down on a large rock together. Their breathing was still ragged, but their eyes were full of love for each other. Hang gently wiped the sweat from her forehead, then gently placed her hand on her wife's shoulder. "Are you tired?" "I feel a bit exhausted." Sinnhat smiled, looking deeply into her husband's eyes. "I'm fine. As long as you're by my side, I feel full of strength." They held each other's hands tighter, feeling each other's warmth in the cold, deep forest. Sinnhat leaned her head on her husband's shoulder, sighing peacefully. "We will overcome everything, for our children, for our family." Suddenly, from behind, a golden eye appeared in the bushes, silently watching them. The atmosphere suddenly became heavy, signaling an approaching danger. After resting, they returned to chopping trees. The sound of the axe and the rustling of branches and leaves were shaking the entire quiet forest. The tiger approached step by step, as silently as a ghost. It curled up, trying to blend into the darkness and bushes. Every movement kept absolutely silent. Suddenly, a small branch under Sinnhat's feet broke and fell, creating a loud noise. She turned back immediately, eyes wide open, looking around, heart beating fast. Hang also immediately raised her head, her expression tense. The air suddenly became stifling, extremely tense. Hidden in the dense bushes, the tiger remained motionless like a shadow. Its bright yellow eyes followed Hang and Sinnhat's every move, not leaving them for a moment. Its toned body lay pressed against the ground, its muscles tensed, ready to spring up at any moment. But at this moment, it was still patiently waiting. After nearly half a day of hard work, 10 trees had been cut down and tied into sturdy bundles. Hang and Sinnhat carried the trees together, step by step, following the old path leading to the main road. The afternoon had turned. The sunlight slanted through the leaves, shining a golden streak on the bundles of wood swinging on their shoulders. When they reached a clearing in the middle of the forest, only a few hundred meters from the main road, the two decided to stop and rest for a moment to regain their strength. They put the wood down, sat on a moss-covered rock, breathing hard, but their eyes shining with satisfaction. The goal was almost complete. The couple still had no idea that they were being hunted. The couple was still concentrating on tying the tree to the back of the car, when from behind, in the thick bushes, the tiger was still following closely. It moved without a sound. Each step was carefully calculated. The distance had shortened, only a few dozen meters. Sinnhat did not stop working, tirelessly, helping her husband keep the motorbike steady on the bumpy road. She carefully tied each piece of wood firmly onto the motorbike, making sure it would not fall while moving. Sweat was dripping down her forehead, but her eyes were still full of determination and resilience. Despite being tired after the challenges in the deep forest, Sinnhat did not allow herself to give up. She understood that each piece of wood tied tightly was a step closer to repairing her home. Hang had to carry the tree back first, and then come back to pick up Nhat. After Hang left, the forest wind rose, each gust blowing through the treetops, making a creepy sound like a warning from nature. Sinnhat stood in the middle of the clearing, one hand tightly gripping the axe handle, the other clinging to the rough tree trunk behind. Her back ached from the scratches from the fight, but she did not dare to take her eyes off the darkness ahead. Just as the tiger was about to lunge out and devour her, the sound of wheels grinding against the ground echoed from afar. It was Hang. The sound of the car broke the deadly atmosphere. The tiger stopped, its ears twitched, then turned around and ran straight into the deep forest, disappearing without a trace. The couple panicked and climbed onto the motorbike, the engine roaring loudly in the deserted forest. Hang turned the throttle. The motorbike rushed through the bumpy trail. Sinnhat held her husband's waist tightly, still filled with fear. They ran as fast as they could, away from the dangerous deep forest. Arriving home, the couple's steps were still heavy with fear, their hearts still pounding after the encounter with the ferocious tiger. Sweat had not yet dried. Their eyes were still haunted by the darkness of the deep forest and the terrifying roar. But there was no time to dwell on that fear any longer. Sinnhat's biological mother suddenly appeared, her eyes filled with worry when she saw the pale faces of her daughter and son-in-law. Hearing the story, she did not say much, just sighed heavily, then squeezed their hands tightly as if to pass on the fire of resilience. Don't let fear defeat you. Our family needs to stand firm. The couple looked at each other, their hearts filled with strength. They could not let the tiger and the deep forest swallow their small home. Immediately, they rushed to clean up the ruined kitchen, every piece of broken wood, every crack still there as a reminder of the recent storm and the lurking danger. Hang took the knife, her eyes sparkling with determination, while Sinnhat quickly made plans, calculated each piece of wood needed, and prepared the tools. Sweat poured down, small laughter occasionally rang out like a miracle, dispelling the darkness in their hearts. Sinnhat's mother did not leave their side. She persistently helped, encouraged each word, and was a solid support for them to continue walking. The late afternoon sunlight shone through the leaves, clearly illuminating each drop of sweat, each resilient smile. The battle with nature and fear was not over, but now, with the strength of love and a strong will, they were ready to face it. The kitchen was gradually renovated, becoming a living symbol of the survival and aspiration of a family in the middle of the rugged mountains. Although the tiger was still out there, although danger was lurking, they had become the most resilient warriors of love, of life, and of hope that never died. No one said a word. Their eyes communicated understanding without words. Each with a hand, they picked up the pieces of wood, cleaning up every corner. The air was quiet, with only the gentle sounds of work and steady breathing. The fear was still there, but they chose to hide it in silence, instead of acting resolutely, together, rebuilding their home from the broken pieces. Love and strength were shown through each of those silent movements.